But your teacher wanted to see the work. Child, that shit don't even matter no more. Just thinking about all the life skills we had as Gen Xers that these young people don't even get. That's why they don't have no problem solving skills, because they can't do long division. Was off just like Flo had said it would be. But I wasn't going to be beaten down. You just try, I said, rising to leave. Goodbye. Not long after Dream Girl was published, I found myself on a plane sitting across from Mike and Smokey Robinson, whom he now manages in first class. Smokey was on a promotional tour of England. Between my first book and the Motown 25 debacle, my relationship with Motown was non-existent. So at first, things were a bit awkward. After a while, we got to talking, and I was surprised when Mike said he liked my book, but felt I'd been too kind to many of the people in the story. Mary, he said, as we sipped champagne, you should have been harder. No one likes to hear all nice things. I smiled to myself, knowing my second book was in the works. We talked some more. It was Mike who'd negotiated Florence's departure from the Supremes and presented her with the outrageous terms of settlement, including that she could never use the name Supremes again. Mike, I asked, could you have done some of the things you did at Motown? Those horrible things that really hurt people. I was younger then, he replied, but that was my job. One of the reasons I'm managing now is that I want to do something positive. I still say that Mike Rothschild was the necessary evil. Every place of employment or business or organization has to have a necessary evil in place. Because if not, it will be pure chaos. Kind of like what's going on right now in the universe. You people from the tiki-talkie, y'all hurt. Y'all really believe that there was a ban on the tiki-talkie, when in actuality, it was some snit. It's trickery. It's sorcery. They shut it down. Oh, my God. Trumpy say today. Oh, we love the Trumpy. Yeah, okay. Y'all keep believing in this bullsnit. And I was having a conversation with my sister. I'm like, I hate to be the conspirator, you know, and the person of righteousness. The righteous people are always in some kind of hot water because people are always trying to boil them. Do not fall for the internet shenanigans. You hear me, tickety-tockety people? Don't fall for it. I was surprised at his frankness, but it did little to dull the memory of what he and other Motown executives had put me and the Supremes through in the 70s. I guess it goes to show that business, money, and power can make people do strange things. This day in 1974, however, I saw Mike in a much less charitable light. I drove home nearly blinded by tears. As I turned off Sunset Boulevard and onto my street, my neighbor, Johnny Mathis, waved to me. I waved back, hoping he didn't see my face. I was a mess. My hands were shaking. All I could think was, how can Mike do this to me? By the time I pulled up my long driveway, I was weeping uncontrollably. What's wrong? Pedro asked. I didn't answer as I ran down the mirrored hallway and into my red velvet bedroom. It was over. Over! Everything I'd worked for was gone. The one thing that had given Diane Flo and me the chance to make something of ourselves, to have something more than what our parents had, was gone, dead. When I calmed down, I told Pedro everything. Despite his persistence, I'd never let him see any of my business papers until now. Maybe, you're afraid of the judgment, because your partner, even though they're your partner, in some regards, you could have a partner that's not really your partner. They're your competitor. And the worst thing you want to do is show somebody that is not mature enough to understand that your relationship is not a competition, because there's no competing in relationships, that you're not in a place you should be. And then motherfuckers always trying to give you, what's that word? Oh, you should do this, you should do that. And I'll be like, pause. Let me take it here. So part of the reason why I don't like to talk to people about my business is because people always got the answer. Always. But they don't know how to work the problem out. Remember back when we was young and you had to show your work? You could get the answer when you're dividing, what is that, division, long division? You can get the answer with that long division. But your teacher wanted to see the work. Child, that shit don't even matter no more. Just thinking about all the life skills we had as Gen Xers that these young people don't even get. That's why they don't have no problem solving skills, because they can't do long division. You always got people who tell you the answer, but never want to show you or tell you the work. Okay. I don't know why that happened, because my cousin Shirley, she got a good contract messing with Motown. I don't know why they treating you like that, girl, because Shirley said they gave her Really? Let me talk to Shirley. Let me find out how Shirley did it. Let me talk to Shirley so Shirley can break down, okay, this is what she did. A, ba, ba, ba. B, ba, ba, ba. C, ba, ba, ba. D, da, da, da. And by the time we got to E, we got the answer. People always got the answer, but they don't want to show the work. That's why I don't listen to nobody. If you can't show me the work, girl, don't talk to me about that. My cousin got $10,000 back on her taxes. She did? How did she do it? Who did she use? What did they tell her was the best way to get the $10,000 on her taxes with no children without getting audited? That's what I want you to do. Girl, you only got $2,000 on your taxing? Girl, my cousin got $10,000. Man, shut the fuck up talking to me. When I calmed down, I told Pedro everything. Despite his persistence, I'd never let him see any of my business papers until now. He read the contract Motown was offering and pointed out that it was essentially the same as the old one. I depended on Pedro's judgment. In fact, I began to feel that I could trust no one except him. Now I see that it was so simple. I was running from Motown and into my lover's protective arms. How the fuck he protecting you and beating your ass at the same time, girl? I had no choice but to leave Motown, but then what? At moments like this, a paralyzing fear crept over me. I get it. Early the next morning, Barry called. I spoke with Mike Roshkind and heard about the problems, he said quietly. Barry didn't sound like himself. He actually seemed concerned. Mary, just what is it you want? Without thinking, I blurted out. 50% of the name Supremes. There was a second of silence. Then Barry said, you got it. I'll have my people get right on drawing up those papers. Was it that easy? I'd expected a hard time. As he spoke, I said a silent prayer of thanks to God for saving me and my family. At least now, I thought, I won't end up destitute like Flo. Dead. Bitch. Leave Flo out of this shenanigans, girl. That's not cool. Sherry, Cindy, and I had to work our tails off to get ready for Vegas. We had to be a hit there since the Supremes now earned most of our income from performances. We needed to be in the top venues. For 2 days in April, we tried out our show at the Sahara in Lake Tahoe. It was a last-minute booking, so we weren't fully prepared, and it showed. The only bright spot came when during her show at Harrah's, Liza Minnelli introduced us from the stage as 3 entertainers I have admired and respected. She was one of those stars like Cher and Dionne Warwick, who were always friendly towards me and never passed by without stopping to say hello and chat. We got very bad reviews, all driving home the point that we could not take this same old show to Vegas. We needed the money and the exposure, true, but why embarrass ourselves? The constant pressure to be out working, even to our reputation's detriment, was a sore point between me on one side and our manager and Motown on the other. They couldn't have cared less what happened to the Supremes as long as they got their cuts. We should have been reworking the show and recording a hit. Couldn't they see that they were running the Supremes into the ground? Phil Moore, an arranger, conductor, and pianist who had worked on Broadway and with such stars as Dorothy Dandridge, Marilyn Monroe, and Lena Horne, came in. He told us which songs we'd be doing, but when Cindy realized she had no solos, she became upset. She ended up getting a solo part in one number, which was fine and fair. What bothered me, though, was her saying, if I don't look out for myself, no one else will. It never dawned on me that she wanted to sing lead. We'd never discussed it. If she had said something about it, I wouldn't have objected. I was crushed and for a moment quite angry. After all, I thought no one told her to leave the group the first time. Now she was back, and all that time off showed. She still hadn't lost the weight. I begged her to take classes with my voice teacher, and she did for a while. More than anything, though, I was deeply hurt that my efforts on her behalf went unnoticed. I knew she wasn't that kind of person, but it made me think how things had changed. Real talk, who knows what her husband is taking her through? You know, at home, people crazy. And people can't get to work and work effectively if home ain't right. Like, some people really need that balance. Some people really have to have good on both sides in order to be productive and effective. Me, when home ain't right, I be like, I'm going to work to shuck and jive. Ooh, 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 yeah. I be ready to get the hell out of the house when home ain't right. Let me get to work. Let me get to this money, because money is what, no, let me take it back. Paying my bills is what makes me happy. Yeah, you know, you want to say, oh, my relationship. Anybody that deals with me know that business is first, then relationships. Love somewhere down at the bottom. I'm sorry, I'm too old to be, love. Some people, when their relationship at home is messed up, oh, they terrible at work. They mean, they anxious, they horrible. They just horrible. And they start taking shit out on you that they can't take out on their mate. And you got to check them. You got to be like, I ain't fucking you, bro. It felt strange to do a 35-minute opening set instead of our usual hour. Richard Roundtree, Cher, and Lamont Dozier came to see us. Everyone was complimentary and kind, but I knew we weren't as good as we should have been. And it was sad. The important people at Motown knew that Pedro and I were getting married in Vegas. I still didn't know what the label was up to. It seemed a strange coincidence that Motown chose this time to send out Abner to work on me about the contract. Abner had the agreement stating that I owned 50% of the Supreme's name ready for me to sign. The same day that Pedro and I got our marriage license, David Williams gave me the bad news. He heard